Earlier today, I was with Donald Edwards Jr. You will see that Donald Edwards Jr. is in need of a heart transplant and a kidney transplant. Win Again Movement for Change is strictly about creating an awareness about organ donation for all races, but particularly African American, Latino, and Hispanic communities. Studies show that if a person receives a transplant from their own ethnic group, chances of success for that transplant are much higher. Please listen to the video, check it out, give us help where you can, refer, tell people about it. Let's get this going. We're with Donald Edwards Jr. Donald is a kidney transplant patient, and he also needs a heart transplant. So I'm going to ask Donald to tell us his story about where he is right now with the situation, and we'll go from there. So now I understand that you need a heart and a kidney transplant, right?
Correct.
And with your heart and kidney transplant, you were on the transplant list, but tell us why now you're not on the list.
I was on the transplant list, stage 2, I believe, which was one of the urgent stages at that time. And then they decided to put an IV, what they call a PICC line IV, in my arm, which upgraded my status to where I was in a minute, going to have a transplant fairly quick. Then after they did that, about a day or so later, we found out that I had kidney cancer. And the kidney cancer wasn't aggressive. It was small, but that knocked me off the list because you can't have cancer and do a transplant because they're afraid that the anti-rejection drugs will inflame the cancer and it starts going through your body in wildfire.
And they said you'd have a horrible death.
Right. Correct.
So they went in and got the cancer out.
Right.
And it was very small.
Very small.
But the weight now is because what they want to make sure in 5 years you don't have cancer again.
In this part of the area, which is Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, and Nebraska, I believe, you have a 5-year cancer-free waiting policy, which at the time I'm kind of upset because in my situation they knew that my heart was not going to last 5 years. I was between a rock and a hard place.
Okay.
But the institute, St. Luke's Heart Institute, that was their guidelines, 5 years. And I was really upset with that.
And St. Luke is the only hospital in the Kansas City area that does both kidney and heart.
Right, and there's not very many heart-kidney combinations done on a yearly basis nationwide.
Oh, nationwide.
So, yeah, nationwide. There's a lot done, but it's compared to heart, liver, or heart and lung, it's a lot more than heart, kidney.
Okay.
So I'm sort of like a unique case.
So what we're looking for is a hospital that will take your situation, not in the 5-year period, but more like a year, because we're understanding now the medicine you're on is keeping your heart pumping is not going to last beyond maybe a year.
Right. And that's what I was talking about. This is a PICC line.
Oh, okay.
This is what I have in my left arm. This is the actual pump.
Okay.
And this is middle ring. And this pumps into my arm 24/7. I change the medicine every 48 hours.
Wow.
Plus, I'm on dialysis, so I do that every day at home too. Periodontal dialysis.
PD. Okay.
PD. What the nurses and specifically the doctor, one of the doctors, a couple of doctors at St. Luke, recommend I get second opinions from other transplant centers across America.
Okay.
Which I've done. And we finally got some good news where other transplant centers have a different policy as far as their cancer-free policy. Okay. So things are looking positive right now that I will have to relocate, but if I can relocate and receive a transplant, I always just want the opportunity to do that.
Okay.
Here in Kansas City, with their 5-year cancer-free policy, I didn't have that opportunity.
Okay.
Because I know, and the doctors knew, my heart's not going to last another 5 years.
Okay.
And everything. And the type of cancer I have, or had, It was non-aggressive. It hadn't metastasized. It hadn't spread it.
Okay.
But it was malignant.
Okay.
But it was very small, real small.
Okay.
So that was a positive aspect of it.
And one thing I want to capture before we end, because I'm just going to capture this. I notice you're breathing.
Right.
And because of the heart, your heart doesn't pump the blood through your body fast enough.
It doesn't pump. It's pumping. It's pumping harder
Than what it should have
than
to.
it should.
Okay.
Because
that
my
causes-
heart is weak.
It's weak. Okay.
A
And
bypass is not going to do any good for my heart.
okay. And so this affects your breathing and everything like that.
Right. It affects my breathing.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm sort of like a unique case because with my kidney problem,
Right.
I'm sort of in a unique position where I have heart-kidney problems, and it's very difficult and very tricky monitoring that on a day-to-day basis, a week-to-week basis.
Right. Okay. Well, I thank you for allowing us to capture your story. If you're watching this is again Donald Edwards Jr. If you're in a city that has kidney heart transplant, and they'll take a patient that has had any type of cancer in less than a year, please contact us. The information will be on the screen, and we greatly appreciate you watching, and please pass this on. God bless. Take care.